Hello everyone, Aerophite here, and today I'm going to bring you something really special because this is my first snapshot video in a long time. So today we are in a snapshot for 1.7. It is 13W36B, and I'm messing with command blocks because to me that's one of the coolest things about this update, other than the biomes, but I don't think anybody needs a tutorial over biomes, so yeah. Anyway, what I think is cool is the new commands, and in particular, I find the summon command pretty neat. So I'm going to show you how to do some cool stuff with horses today. I'm going to spawn 4 different horses that just have different variable sets and stuff like that, and I'm going to explain how I came to the conclusion of how to do it, right? So, first thing, summon entity horse, and I'm just basically summoning it to the left. I'm going to put it inside the fences over here, right? And so I just moved it to the left 3. And that was, for me, the negative Z direction, but it could be something else for you. So when I click on here, it's just going to summon a horse, right? And it will summon just a random horse, right? It could be a small one, could be donkeys, stuff like that, but it can really be any type of horse, right? So that's pretty cool, and that's just using the basic summon command. You know, summon whatever you want to summon, and then an XYZ position. Okay, so I did the exact same thing over here, except for I added an ID tag to it. And ID tags, when you first begin them, will always begin with the braces, like what we have here. And, you know, these right here. They will always be enclosed in that. And then you have to use some files online to figure out what you want to put in, you know, all this stuff right here, right? So what I did was I went to I just Googled chunk format, and it's got all sorts of different things in there. And it just so happens that for horses, right, in the area where they show that, it has a Tame attribute, right? And it takes a byte, which is either going to be true or false. One being true, another being false. And I know that because the little symbol next to it is this little piece of paper with a B on it. And it says also next to it 1 or 0 for true or false, right? So I'm basically now summoning a tamed horse. Right? And for some reason, tamed horses always are white, but there is also some stuff that you can use to change the color of the horse and what type it is and stuff like that. So as you can see, I can get on this horse now. I can't really move it, which is kind of hard to tell, I guess, because I have it inside here, but I can't move it. You might be able to hear me. And so it's a tamed horse but can't do anything with it. And just to show you that it's always white, something happened to my butt. No, I'm on the wrong side. Always a white horse. Okay, so then I was like, well, that's not as useful because then you actually have to put a saddle on it, right? Which I could do, right? And that's not that big of a deal, but not what I wanted to do. So, also in the horse entity, or entity horse thing, they have the SaddleItem command. Alright, so here's the SaddleItem. And SaddleItem has this little symbol next to it that is like these 3 squares kind of connected. They're 3 different colored squares, and it stands for, let me see, compound, right? And a compound is going to have these braces around it again. So see how I have this brace, and then the closing of the compound is this brace. Well, then I see this thing says go to item format, and I clicked on it, and the item format has an ID tag, and you can also add counts and stuff like that. So I just said, okay, well, I'm going to put 329, which is a saddle, inside the saddle item spot, and I only want 1 in there. So I did that, and it summons a horse with a saddle. That's tamed, so I can ride it, and stuff like that. So pretty cool, pretty cool. I can't close these fences while it's alive, if you're wondering why I was killing it. Okay, now this one though, this is what I like, right? I was like, okay, so I can summon a horse with a saddle on it, and that's pretty cool, but you know, it wouldn't take that long in creative or whatever. I could spawn a horse in creative easily with a spawn egg, you know, and then you tame it and you do put saddles on it and stuff. But what you can't do in creative is change its speed or it's jump. You could do jump height as well. So, but I decided to change speed. So you got everything that we had before, right? Here's what we had before: SaddleItem, count, stuff like that. And then I added this attributes tag. And attributes is also, it's part of entity, not horse entity, but since EntityHorse, but since EntityHorse is a subset of entity or mob, yeah, it's mob, I'm sorry. Since, you know, EntityHorse is part of mob, and mob has the attributes tag, I could use it. Well, here's the weird thing about the attributes tag. The attributes tag has, it looks like a bulleted list on it, right? So, you know, like if you're in Microsoft Word or something and it's got a list in it, and that means you got to put these brackets, like what's right here, right? But then inside that list, it immediately shows a tag with little 3 squares and stuff. So you also have to put this, and that's what took me a long time about this one, right? Well, then there's an attribute called name. But I had to find, and it's a string, so everything is in quotes, and it's got a little, it looks like a page with words filling it, or whatever, which stands for string. And I had to find this generic.movementSpeed inside another file called the attribute file, which there's links to that in the chunk format, and I'll put all these links down in the player description and all that stuff like that, right? Or player description, in the description at the bottom of this video. At any rate, so I figured out that, and I put name, and it said put an attribute's name. I found the attribute name, and there it is. Then there's one called base, and base is like the value that speed would normally start at. And what I did is, instead of doing a default base, I just set it. I set it to 0.5, right? So basically, when I summon this horse, it is faster than a normal horse, and it's pretty obvious that it is. Now, according to the little wiki article, these horses are, you know, the max speed for speed is infinity. So you can really put any number you want. But if you noticed, I put 0.5. Like, if you put it really high, it's crazily fast, right? So my first test was at 2 because I didn't know, right, how fast it would be. And so I created this horse, right? Well, this horse is insane, the speed that's going on here. And I don't know, like, infinity would probably crash your computer, or it wouldn't even allow the horse to move. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it. Or, you know, putting a really high number, you can't put infinity, but you get my point here. It would be fast. Now, the danger with this kind of horse is that once you're off this horse, if he starts moving, good luck catching him. Because I can catch him in creative, but I can't catch him in anything else. I would have a hard time catching him in survival. Not to say you couldn't, but I mean, for example, you watch this horse. He starts doing this little square pattern going on here, and then you really can't catch him until he tries to graze again, which, you know, could be in a few minutes. There it is. Nope, he's gone. Hey, come back here. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty difficult. You pretty much, in creative, have to drop down on top of him. But, yeah, so I would recommend not putting it that high. 0.5 seemed plenty high for me. I did it at 1. It's still super fast, kind of like this. But yeah. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it. I tried to make it as understandable as possible. If you would like me to do anything else like this again, please let me know. I actually really enjoy messing with this now that this is part of Minecraft. And it's just kind of neat. So let me know if you have any ideas for something you want to see, or even if you just want to see more. On another note, if you are interested in making your own creatures, you know, not telling me what you want to happen, but making it, literally going out into a command block and working it out and stuff, but you don't understand how to read like all the files and stuff like that, please, please, please let me know. I'm pretty sure I've got it cracked how you're supposed to read these files, but it's not as intuitive as I think it should be. So if you want a video on how to read that, I can do that too. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. Later.